right, y'all, it's Brad Allen. Today, I'm gonna do a little test run and show you how to show a house. Not everybody gets this opportunity, not everybody knows how it happens. We just think it happens miraculously. But if we put a little time and energy into it, we can have a phenomenal showing for buyers that make them wanna fall in love with the house more. So, as you can tell, we're in front of a house right now. What I like to do is get here a little early. And that's not always possible, I get it, but at least the first house, you should get here early. And I like to take note of what's going on. So when I take a look at a house, I wanna remember what my buyers are looking for and see what attributes this house has and line them up with what they're looking for. So for instance, they're looking for an all brick house, they're looking for a 2-story and they want a garage. Check. So when they get here, I'm gonna be telling them, hey guys, I found a great house today, let's go take a look at it. All brick, it looks like the windows are updated, you've got a nice garage, parking's on the main level. Let's go take a look inside and let's see how it goes. MTV crib too. Couple things for safety as well. You're gonna be messing with this lockbox trying to get it open. Do not put your back to the people. You may know them, you may not know them, but either way, like, you should never have your back to it. It's not very inviting. It's probably not your best angle. Step to the side, that way you can see people, especially if they're a lead, maybe they're a customer, you don't know them very well. You can work on it, but you can also keep eye contact in case something were to go sideways. So safety is always number one. All right, so now we're inside the house. A couple things, safety first, right? If I don't really know these people that well or don't have a good feeling, I'm always gonna leave the front door unlocked. I've always got an escape route. I don't wanna be fumbling with the lock in case I need to get out of here in a hurry. And then if you're already in the house or you haven't been in here yet, make sure you introduce yourself to the house. That sounds kind of strange, but you never know who's home. I've had kids that have skipped school, didn't tell their parents, you walk in on them, it's really awkward. Maybe one spouse didn't know and the shower's running, so you really gotta take your time and make sure. So always come in, announce yourself, kind of yell a little loud and be like, hey, it's a realtor, anybody home? The other thing I like to do, and I don't have it on me now, is either an iPad with internet access or the listing information. Because what I wanna do is invite the buyers in that I already know and go, all right guys, so we're over here at Sims today. This house is a 4-bed, 3-bath. It's exactly kind of what you're looking for. It's more of a traditional setup. So the house is ours. We've already kind of walked through it, make sure nobody's here. Feel free to walk around and take a look. But as we walk around, I'll kind of be hanging back, writing down questions and making sure that if anything pops up, I'll be there to answer it, but like, feel free to roam and explore. Last thing, make sure somebody knows where you're at, whether it's your office, whether you're using an app that lets you know to check in every couple of minutes, but let people know where you're at in case, God forbid, something happens. As I like to walk through a house and show the clients, a couple things I want to do is point out features that they've told me in the past are really important to them and kind of reassure them that this house could be the right one for them. But always, do not try and sell people on the house. The house will sell itself. Sometimes we need to point out the good things so they can see it. I believe that buyers get like a glassed over look. After they look at 1 or 2 houses, they think they all look the same. So like in this house, we're like, hey, guys, this is great. It's got a formal dining room just like you liked. It should be able to hold an 8-person table. Looks pretty large. Tall ceilings, scraped ceilings, nothing, no popcorn, nothing like that. But you gotta be careful. You also don't want to over-explain. So as you're going through, be like, guys, this looks like it's going to be big enough for your dining room table. That's cool. And then move on and let them do what they want to do. Kitchens are hard. People either love kitchens or they hate kitchens. And nobody ever really likes somebody else's kitchen. So what I like to do when I get to kitchens and baths is let the buyers tell me what they're thinking, right? Like, well, what do y'all think about this one? I like to offer up ideas on how they could change this to their style. Be like, yeah, you don't like that granite, understandable. We can get a quote for the granite, not a big deal. Or we could do a tile backsplash. After you move in, you can have somebody come tile it, it'll look like a whole different kitchen. So you want to hear their objections while they're here, because kitchens make such a big difference, but also not point out too many flaws, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be their house, not yours. So make sure you keep your opinions to yourself. So when I'm showing houses as well, one thing I want to point out to them is the flow. So depending on what your clients, if they're big, you know, entertainers, right? It's like, hey, this is kind of cool. You got the kitchen in the middle, so you can have a formal dinner up there, but yet you could shut this door and also have a little quiet area where they're not in the rest of your business. So again, pointing out the nice flow of things, the nice features of things, and also not talking so daggone much. So this is gonna be an interesting one. So this house has a interesting kind of another living space, but could be a bedroom, but it's kind of not. So your job as a real estate agent is to kind of help them dream and think through it. There's a quote that 10% of people can't see something they physically can't see. I mean, they can't think about what it could be. So as we go in this room, I love this room personally, but it's a little different. It's got some different color floors. It's got more cabinetry than not. So let's take this room, for example. This is a little bit eclectic room. It's on the main floor. It's off the living space. I'm kind of thinking this is like a den, man cave kind of thing. But if I know my clients want a secondary bedroom on the main floor from maybe an elderly parent, maybe a workspace, whatever it might be, I need to help them envision that this could change into that. So what are the pluses in this room if you're looking for a secondary bedroom? Well, we've got a half bath right here. Maybe we could wall this up and put in a shower. We could remove cabinets. You could do all kinds of things to make this your own, Mr. Buyer. All right, y'all, so now we're in the primary bedroom. We've got to help the buyers out a lot because here's the thing. They do care about the kitchens and baths downstairs because that's what their guests are going to see. But the primary bedroom is where they're going to live. And they're probably not going to like it off the front end, right? Because the colors, the paints, the trim, all of that stuff was here to match the previous owner's stuff. So when you get in here, you need to be a resource. You need to help them think through things and point out stuff. Hey, do these colors match your current stuff, or we need to paint it? So you get them thinking about the upgrades they could do that are nominal, but could really go a long way. So this is a good example, right? This master bath, I love it personally. Huge shower, double heads, big jacuzzi tub, his and her water closets, right? That's pretty cool, but this may not be their style. So I would encourage them, hey, take some pictures. Let's really think about what this could look like. Could we change some paint colors to really pull through some of the attributes of this place? You gotta help them by asking the questions of, could we do this and would it satisfy you? Also, another thing is, don't assume they don't like it. Don't assume that it's outdated to them. This may be exactly what they're looking for. So obviously the backyard is a super important feature of a house. So make sure you're listening to what they want. Do they want a lot of yard? Do they not want a lot of yard? Can stuff be redone, seeded, sodded, all that good stuff? So as we wrap up this video, there's a couple things I want to remind you of. One, it's the buyer buying the house, not you. Your job is to guide them through the process, be with them at all times, so that way they have any questions you can answer it, but also you can keep an eye on them. And as I like to leave a house, I like to leave it the same way I found it. So if I got there and all the lights were on, I'm gonna leave all the lights on. If the garage door was unlocked, I'm gonna leave the garage door unlocked. But everything was off, I would do that as well. And what you wanna do with your buyers as you finish this, is you walk out back, out front and say, all right, so what'd you think? Is this gonna be a contender or not? And they may have some reservations, or they may not say, yeah, this is number one. And so now you know what your litmus is and how you can always reference them back and say, hey, this one better or worse than the first one we looked at? And you're gonna be able to narrow them down after a few homes to really know what they're looking for. So I wish you the best of luck showing houses. It's not easy, but it's also fun. So have fun with it, make it a good time, be conversational, and just listen to what the buyer wants.